Hello everyone, my name is Mehdi Kortnavasi. This is the third movie about the introduction to database management system. Let's start with reduction of an ER or entity relation and enhance entity relation diagram into tables. In this part, we will go to implement the diagram in a tabular form. So we need some tables for each ER diagram. Each entity set make different table for each. And for each relationship set make a different table again. And for a strong entity set with attribute A1 to AN, make a table having same names as entity set E and having n number of columns. Okay, let's see the diagram and we will try to implement as a tabular form. Here is one entity named employee and two type of employee, full-time and part-time. Each employee have a employee ID as the primary key, one for number, salary, department ID, and three names, first, middle, and last. So for full-time employee, they have another more qualification for a full-time employee and hours work for a part-time employee. And also we have another entity, department, with two fields, department ID and department name, with the key as a department ID, is a primary key. And a relation we named as a works in, we named this relation, and this relation is relate to table and have a new individual field, job. Let's see how to produce the tables. So before we start, we need to know about the create table SQL command to create tables, and this is a common language, a structural query language in most of the database management systems. Is common, but there are little differences, and for each DBMSS you need to know the differences, but the basic concepts is common and same. I use in a Visual Foxpro database for this chapter and this course, but if you learn anything here, you can implement on any other DBMSS with a little change. So we need to know about the field type, field width, and n precision, and data type. Each field have a name, field type, and the length, number of characters for each field, and number of decimal points if the field is a numeric field, and the type of field, numeric character, for example, and the length of or number of decimal places or precision, And a table in Visual Foxpro contain up to 255 fields. This is not a limit for another DBMSs, maybe more, maybe less. And the field type parameter is a single letter or line name, doesn't matter, but to another DBMSs may be different, indicating the field's data type. And you can specify the field width and precision or both for some field type, but the width and precision parameters are ignored for special another field types. For example, C as a character or Y as a currency field. Type date for a date field, or T, time and date together, date time. B as a double numeric, or G or general, any number of bit string like a movie or MP3 or anything, a diagram can be stored in a general field, or I as an integer, a numeric value. Logical, just as a switch, true or false, or memo field, unlimited character as a text-based field named memo, or numeric have a precision also, number of digits included the decimal point, and the precision is the width. Float for a floating number, and Q and V variable char or variable binary fields. So you can find easily these types in each DBMSs to define the fields. Okay, let's see an example, a sample program of using of these commands. I want to create 3 tables. Here is a 3 table. Table order, order ID, cost ID, order amount, order quantity, and description. And sales ID for the table customer, cost ID, cost name, sales branch, for example. And a table sales name with 2 fields, sales ID and sales name, for example. And I added 3 records for the table orders, 2 records for both table customer and salesman. And I show the data section in Visual Foxpro. We have 255 separate work area, and we can open each table in a separate work area. For example, I open table order, customer and salesman, and I make a relation between this table. Table customer as a child for table order and table salesman as a child for table customer. Or here is a table salesman. For example, have 2 fields, sales ID, sales name. And I use sales ID as a primary key, so the system show me a key at the left side of the field, and customer, these are fields, and the customer have another ID, cost ID, but I added two more indexes for this table, and table order also. These are fields and a key field as the order ID and one more index. We want to learn how to create this table and how to relate these tables together and how to write a program to create this sample. But I prefer to have a quick overview about the concept of index because this is too important in a database management system, and then we will continue to the writing the programs and code. Index an alphabetical list of names, subjects, etc. with a reference to the place where they occur, typically found at the end of the book. This is a Wikipedia definition about the index. And let's see another example. Suppose you have a 500 pages book and you find to look for a specific word or keyword. Instead of linear search or searching page by page, in each page line by line, and in each line word by word to find, you can make a quick, easy access at the end of the book. We name index. The keywords gather in this field, in this pages, and for each keyword you can find the page number as the address to find the word. So because the indexes are ordered by the character, so you can find easily and quickly your favorite word in the books. And if you have 5,000 pages instead of 500, but the access time is same with having an index. And if you have a 5 millions of page or 5 billions of page of books, but the index with having an index, also the access time to any word is same. So let's see an index example in a database. For example, I use the command use to open a table hesab, and with the browse command I can appear a spreadsheet like Excel to easily move to anywhere, up, down, and left and right to each field, and I can easily access to change any records. And there are many fields in this table and almost 1200 or 12,000 of records in this table. So I made some indexes for this table according to combination of some key, one or more fields as a key. Let's see. I use, for example, index, the command index on, for example, sanad tag sanad. I will assign a tag name to that, and the index activated, and all records ordered by this field. I make an index. So if I want to seek between 12,000 of records a unique sanad number, for example, sanad 240, in the blink of an eye, the pointer will locate to the table, and because there is an index on this field. So another example, I can make another index on, for example, مبلغ or amount. The list ordered according to this field, and if I want to find, for example, a million amount, easily the record locate. And this is the power of index. And also I can combine one or more than one field, combination of more than one field as a key for ordering the table. For example, because the field types are numeric, I can use a function of str to change to the string character string. For example, I use str مبلغ, 10 means make a string character with length of 10, and I can contact this field with another field, for example, str virgule. I use two numeric key, change the key to the character string first, and with the use of the plus sign, I contact or attach two fields together and make a new key, and then I make an index on a combination key. In this example, the list ordered by field مبلغ for the repeated value is ordered by the next part of the key, and is a virgule. So all of these numbers reorder according to the virgule. If I use a browse command to show the key to you, browse fields is a command. For example, مبلغ, virgule, comma, and I named, for example, combination key, equal to expression. Let's see. Here, two fields, mablag and zirguru, show with a new field, and this field is a combination of two fields. First one, for example, this is the first key, is 1, and the second key, zirguru, and combination of this. And I index on this field, so the list order by a common key. And with the command of set order, I can switch to the any of the existing index list. For example, I can switch to this, and the list will order to another keys. Let's back to the example, and I use the program with the text editor. I named the program as a chapter 2 P1 with extension PRG. For example, in Visual Foxpro, all program extensions is in PRG. Close database is a command. It releases all databases in from the memory, and I use it because you can open multiple databases at the same time, and in each database you have many tables related to each database, and each table have its own fields. So at the beginning I close the oldest databases. Clear means clear the screen, and the command of set in Visual Foxpro appear this window as a data section window to show me as a panel. And with create database, I create a new database named my data. So the current database is a newly created database. Every table after this command I create, it means belong to the same database, because the current database is my data. So create table sales name, it means table names. The blue commands are the keywords in a Visual Foxpro, and I use create table command, table name with semicolon at the end of each line. In the Visual Foxpro means the next line is a continue of the current line. So because I wanted to improve the readability of the program, instead of writing a long line, I separated to the smaller than, and with the semicolon, system will suppose the next line is a continue of the current line. So the open parenthesis, field name, sales ID. I use C as a character or type. The type list is different, and according to your DBMS you can choose. And the parenthesis, the length, 6 character length, and I use a keyword as a primary key. System understand this field is the primary key, and automatically for the primary key, system will be generate an index. So the next, after comma, next field, I use semicolon and continue of this line to the next line. Sales name, another field, character, I use full name, character instead of C, both same, C or character, and 20 in the parentheses. And at the end of the field definition, the close parenthesis must be add, begin with the open parenthesis, after the table name, and after the last field definition, you have to add a close parenthesis. So here is a command from create table until here. This is one command. And after that, I use the command of browse in Visual Foxpro with font Tahoma, and last means the last situation of the Windows properties on the screen, same font, same position, and if I change the position of the screen in the browse, the save command means the system will save the properties of the form for the next call. System will open the same at the same properties. And the command of no wait means the program execution continue to the next line. So here is the two command, create table, browse. This is a create this table, customer. Here is a table, sorry, salesman. Here is a table of salesman and browse. Okay. The next command, create table of customer, sales ID characteristics, sales ID integer, and I use as a primary key cost name character 20 unique. Unique means system generate a new index for this field and will check the input data and accept only the unique value for this field, and the repeated items will be rejected by the error message. And the sales branch character 3, look at after the character definition, you have to put the type character integer, character integer, and in the parentheses the width or length of the character, the integer, no need to define, system automatically assign 2 bytes for the field of integer, and primary key or unique is optional, you can add. And after the last field, I use a keyword foreign key, sales ID, tag sales ID. It means the index name is sales ID, and reference onto the another table, salesman. The foreign key is what? It means this field is not a primary key in this table, but this field is a primary key to another table. The another table is salesman. So if you see the table of salesman, you can find same field as the primary key, sales ID, and here as a foreign key. So after this, parenthesis close. So starting from here to here, just one command. Create table customer with two indexes. One index for primary key, one index for the controlling the unique value to cost name, and again browse. Create table orders, order ID integer, primary key, cost ID, reference, customer with tag cost ID. After tag, you have to write the index name. Order amount year, it means 4 characters. Order quantity integer, default 10, means for each new record, system automatically assign the value of 10 to the field of the order quantity. And check is another keyword with a condition. So the system will check this condition. If the result be true, the value will accept. Otherwise, the value will reject. So you cannot add a value less than or equal to 9. All value greater than 9 is acceptable for this field. And if you add a wrong number, the error message appears according to this message. This message enclosed in the quotation mark. So order quantity must be at least 10 is the error message appear if the result of this condition be false and the input value rejected. And another field, decision person, numeric 6, 2. It means the total length of this field be 6 character, but with 2 decimal number, and just a decimal point, it takes 1 byte of space. So with the field of 6, 2, you can add 3 digit plus 1 decimal point plus 2 decimal digit, totally 6 characters. And keyword null means this field can accept the null value. Default null means for new records, system assign the null value to this field, and this field also have a condition. Check order amount greater than or equal to 0. It means for this field, default value is null and the new value must be greater than or equal to 0. And for the wrong value, the error message order amount must be greater than 0 in the quotation mark will appear to the user. So the command started from here to here, just one command. And the browse command activate the table. As you see, the table definition here, one index for the salesman, as the primary key. One index for the customer, cost ID, as the primary key. The second index created by the system to check the unique value for the cost name, because we use unique here to check the cost name as a unique, and here is a second. And the sales ID. What is the sales ID in table customer? Sales ID in table customer, because we added a foreign key, sales ID, to reference this field to the another table. Automatically system generate an index with the name of sales ID. So table customer here have three indexes, one for primary key, one for controlling the unique value for the cost name, and the one for foreign key, sales ID. And the table order also have a two index, order ID as the primary key and cost ID. Here is a definition for the table order, primary key, order ID, and because cost ID is a reference for the alternate key, system generate another index. We included some business rules when defining a table. These rules is difference between organization to another organization. Okay, until this time we created three different tables and browse tables here, and at the rest of the program I use a select command. Select is a very powerful command in the SQL server, and also same syntax and same availability in Visual Foxpro or Oracle or all of the other database, almost same. But in Visual Foxpro have another usage. We can switch or select the another areas, work area. For example, the order open in work area 1, work area 2, and work area 3. With the select command, I can switch or select the current work area also. Select salesman means select the work area which the salesman table in open to it, and with the command of set order I active the sales ID index, because this have more than one index. I activate the order sales ID. Again, select table customer, set order to index the cost ID for this table, and I use a command set relation. So the current table now is a customer. With the set relation, I can relate this command as a parent to a child table. For example, I related to the table salesman as a child. As you see here, customer is a parent, and I related to the table salesman as a child. I select this and set relation to the child. Again, if I select the order and set relation to table customer, This relation is also will establish. As you see, select orders, set order to cost ID, index cost ID activate, and set relation to table customer. So here is a three level of parent and child relationship, and with the command of modify database I can active this window to show the database definition, tables, indexes, and relation. After I release the window modify database, system will close the database, release, and delete the database my data with the keyword delete tables. It means delete database container including all related tables. Let's see the real program together. I use modify command. This is a command to activate a text editor. You can use any text editor, for example Notepad or Word or any text editor. In Visual Foxpro, with the command of modify command, I can use, for example, this program, and let's make a property and change the font some bigger, for example 14 bold, and okay, same program, and I want to execute this command step by step and show you what happened in the system. I use a command of debug to activate the debugger. Is a tool in Visual Foxpro. Most of the programming languages have something like that. Let's resize the window. Command. Here is a command window. I use to put command in it. Okay. Let's see. Here is a program. Here is a debugger. With the do command, I can run the program. For example, do same program. Okay, I change the position of the debug window on the top and the main program on the bottom, and so activate with this command the debugger show each command before execution. And here is a step: clear the screen, set activate this window, and create table my database my data created here and selected as a current database. Create table file name created, and with the browse command the table will appear here in the last position. Two fields here, sales ID and sales name. Again, next step, create the next table, customer created in another work area, and again with the browse command, table browse here. I can change the position of the browse command. As you see, tables are empty, no data records in it, and here the cursor is ready to execute this command. Click execute order created, and the browse activate. I can change the position here, and the next command is select salesman. Now the current selected table is customer. After executing this command, table salesman selected, and with set order, the index sales ID will be selected. I put the set order command here. Only one index sales ID I can choose. So the arrow key appear. It means the table is ordered and the index is active. Again, select table customer. Now the selected table is salesman. After the execution, customer selected. Set order to cost ID. Set order to, look here, 3 indexes belong to the this table, and I choose cost ID. So the index cost ID activated on table customer. And set relation. Now the parent table is customer. Set relation to table ID. So the relation created here between two tables. Select orders. Table order selected. The index activated, and set relation to table customer. So table order as a parent is related to the child as a customer. And the next command is modify database. Activate this window, modify database, and I can watch the database container and all fields and tables. I can right click on each table and choose the browse, or right click and choose the modify, change the structure, add new fields, delete some fields, and in index part I can add new indexes. In a table I can find where is the file physical table, and I can add some character string as a comment or table definition if needed. And also for each field I can add some text here as a field definition, because if the number of fields be more and more and more, after time you will forget what was the purpose of this field definition. So these comments will help you for each field, the purpose and the meaning of the field. So here was an example of creating table, and I can use with Ctrl Y, for example, and add new table. Look here, when I add a new table, the default value 10 assigned to the order quantity. and order ID is 0. If I want to add more field, uniqueness of index order ID is violated because order ID now is 0. For the next record will be also 0, and this will violate the uniquity of the key. But if I assign a unique value, for example 1, to the order ID, cost ID 1, order amount 100, order quantity 15, and description, for example text, this percent, the number was 6,2, so 1, 2, 3 integer, 1 decimal point, and 1 and 2 totally 6 characters. The next, Control Y, another record added. If I add 1, the system will be generate error because order ID is unique, and I have to change the value, revert, for example 2, cost ID 3 or 5, order amount 50, quantity same. Okay, again this table, Control Y, again next record cost ID is unique. I have to add new value 110, customer name and sales branch, anything. Okay, in the next movie we will repeat same comments and fill some new records to the table and looking the how it relationships works. Thank you for watching this movie.